to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 123, Stop Avoiding Conflict. All right, welcome to the show, everyone. Take a moment now, if you're listening, to give this show a rating and a review on iTunes or however you like to listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, my website. It really helps the show and I appreciate it. There were several more reviews I noticed in April and I just love that. So thank you so much to whoever you are who put those reviews out in April. For the show, I do read them and I do appreciate them. So thank you very, very much. All right. So when this show airs, it's going to be early June. My family and I are going to be getting ready at that point very soon to embark on a 2-week vacation to Cocoa Beach. I'm so excited. This is the first time that we have taken a vacation that long, and I can't wait. We have a lot of fun things planned. We're going to visit some family I have in Sebastian, Florida, go to the beach, Kennedy Space Center. I think my husband's going to scuba dive because he's a certified diver. I'm so excited. Summer is here. I love this time of year. And I hope that you too get outside, get in the sunshine, and get off your devices. I know that that is my plan for sure. So, but a lot of growth here, as I've said before, at Career Uprising. It's really exciting. I have a new team member. I now have 4 resume writers and coaches to support my clients. I'm just so gratified to see the growth that we are having. And I'm just making a lot of changes internally too, to the structure of my business to support this growth. It's been a little overwhelming for me, really, but I want to thank all of my clients, so many returning clients too that I've had in 2022 coming back from years past, even when I first started my business. Oh, I love that so much. So thanks to everyone, my listeners and everyone in my network. I'm really evolving and kind of taking on more of a CEO role coming out of the day-to-day client work. And I do keep a few clients myself. So if you're interested in working with me directly, we can still make that happen. But overall, I am growing the next generation of talented career coaches and resume writers. And I'm just so excited and so grateful to all of you. Thank you so much. So speaking also of growth, there is one very personal area that I've had to grow in myself, and it's this tendency to avoid conflict. So I want to talk to you from the heart about this today. And I can basically sum it up in 3 words. Stop avoiding conflict. Stop it right now. I'm slapping your wrist. Okay? I have learned from my own personal experience that this doesn't have the positive outcome that you think it will. I can remember so many times in my past hearing people say things like, oh, conflict is such a good thing. Good things always come out of conflict. And intellectually, I could hear and understand what people were saying, but I never really believed that it was true. I never actually understood it. I always felt like it was one of those things that just sounded good, but I had no idea how to put it into practice. And I don't think I really ever tried. I didn't really believe in it or fully experience the benefits that can come from conflict. So I've been working on this a lot in 2022 and trying to make a point to notice when I'm avoiding conflict and when I'm in that behavior and what actually can come out of it. And the results have been really, really astounding and gratifying. So what I'm going to do is walk you through 3 good reasons for you to stop avoiding conflict and start expressing how you feel. All right. I'm just knocking my water over. Ignore that. Sorry, guys. If you hear things, I've got a lot of stuff on my desk right now, probably way too much. So hopefully, luckily, I didn't knock it all the way over. That's all right. Okay, 3 reasons for you to stop avoiding conflict and start expressing your feelings. Number 1, avoiding conflict stifles your inner feelings and creates resentment. Whatever the situation is, maybe you have a disagreement with your spouse or a boss or a coworker, it doesn't matter. Insert any type of disagreement or conflict. When you don't express how you really feel, those feelings still have to go somewhere. And what happens is they stay inside you because you're not releasing them and expressing them outwardly as you should. They stay bottled up inside, even though you may eventually move on or think you've moved on in your day-to-day life, and you don't feel like you're thinking about it anymore. Trust me, your subconscious mind is still holding on to those repressed feelings and building up resentment. People have long held resentments towards other people that they're not even aware of because they just get used to it. They live with them day to day and they think it's normal, but it's not normal. To have a resentment against another person is not a healthy, productive emotion. On the other hand, if you have a conversation and verbalize how you feel, you are giving those feelings a place to go and releasing them. And it really doesn't even matter how the other person reacts. It's important just for you to express yourself and have that freedom. Otherwise, you're going to feel stifled. And it's going to decrease the likelihood that you'll ever speak up again in the future. And you'll be creating your life from this habit of not speaking up and not resolving anything. And you will wake up one day and realize that you have formulated this very negative view of another person because of these deeply buried resentments that you never resolved. They didn't go anywhere. They stayed inside you. Is that really how you want to live your life? And is that going to help you solve anything? Okay, number 2. It prevents others from knowing you and understanding you authentically. When you have a disagreement with someone and you just placate them or give them a fake smile, roll your eyes, bite your tongue, whatever it is, you're not doing anyone any favors. Other people will think that it's okay and that you agree with them when the opposite is true. Basically, you're giving them a false impression about how you feel. So as a result, they're going to keep doing whatever they're doing, and the problem's not going to go away. If you want others to change how they communicate with you or how they behave in some way, you have to tell them. They can't read your mind. And if you don't tell them, they're going to assume no news is good news. Or, as they say, silence is acceptance. You can then be the one to take responsibility for the fact that this problem is now being perpetuated and never going away. It could have been stopped early on, but because you chose not to say anything, it's now grown even larger into a long-term problem. And then one day, when you get fed up and you finally do decide that you want to speak up, people are going to be pretty surprised because you've been silent and accepting all of this time. And it's going to be even harder to get them to change. The sooner you stop the problem, the easier it is to fix. We know this is true with children, right? The sooner you teach them a new language or a new behavior, the easier it is. But once something becomes deeply ingrained, it's very hard to change. So you owe it to yourself and those around you to be upfront and be honest. And number 3, third reason for you to stop avoiding conflict, it's just plain bad for your health. I'm sure I don't have to remind you of the mind-body connection, which is very real. When you have emotions that you hold deep inside and never fully process, it negatively impacts your health. They're one and the same. This is how people who are seemingly healthy on the outside end up getting cancer or some other major health problem. They have deep-rooted emotional issues that have never been brought to the surface and resolved. Do you really want this to be you? I know you don't. I know you want to live a good, healthy, free life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The key to doing that is to not invite conflict, but simply accept it. Okay, so we're not inviting it, but we are accepting it when it happens, because it will. And focus on a solution and what you can learn from the situation. This is critical to your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. A pattern in one area of your life is always a pattern in another. It's inseparable because you're the same person. If you want to improve your physical health, work on your emotional health. Okay, that's a good resting point. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to give you some actionable tips for how you can start correcting this behavior and getting more out of your communications and stop avoiding conflict. We'll be right back. Hey guys, we're on a break for a minute, and I want to tell you about something exciting going on at careeruprising.com. I have an online store that I created just for you. It has a variety of low-cost resources that will give you the boost that you need in your career, and they offer a great introduction to what it would be like to coach with me. I've got ebooks, meditations, and other resources for you to take advantage of and start getting help today. These products are instantly downloadable, priced incredibly low, and cover many aspects of career transitions. Head on over now to the store while you're listening to the show. It's at careeruprising.com/store. That's careeruprising.com/store. Now let's get back to the show. All right, so now that we have thoroughly explored why you should not avoid conflict and what will happen if you do, I know you're probably hungry to hear more about how you can actually start changing. So let's dive in, okay? Let's take a look at a couple action steps for you to start reframing these conversations and no longer avoiding conflict. So number one, reframe the confrontation. So disagreeing with someone doesn't necessarily mean fighting. So don't think of it that way. Keep in mind, it's not about blaming the other person or proving who's right and who's wrong in a given situation. Conflict resolution is about standing up for yourself and communicating when you feel angry or frustrated or hurt. It's also about ensuring that problems are dealt with so that they don't happen again in the future. So don't view this as an opportunity to complain about somebody or blame them or make it personal. See this as an opportunity to express yourself and facilitate a dialogue with someone who has a different opinion than you. That's all it is. Number two, make a plan. Or as I often say on this show, decide ahead of time. I'm a big fan of making decisions ahead of time for how you will feel in a certain situation, so you're not caught off guard and flooded with emotions. Have a plan set before confronting someone so you can feel more prepared in the moment. Rehearse the points that you want to get across so you'll feel a little bit more confident in your delivery, but also commit ahead of time to not losing your cool and getting upset, even if the other person does. Their reactions belong to them. Your reactions belong to you. Stay on your side of the street, okay? But if you decide ahead of time, I'm not going to get upset no matter what the other person does. I'm not going to take it personally, and even visualize it happening. Visualize this confrontation or this conversation. See the two of you together and see it going well. See it going smooth. See you smiling and saying everything you want to say and see them receiving it, all right? Visualize this happening and expect it to go well, but plan to keep your cool no matter what the other person does, because that's up to them. Number three, Stick to the facts. I know you've heard this before. It's really important. Don't make things personal or overly emotional. All right. I know you've heard this. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I live by these words. They're so true. You can start by just stating the issue, not emotionally, fact-based. For example, you can say something like this. I worked very hard on this project, and yet I was surprised to see that my name was left out of the presentation. Something like that is very direct and concise and factual. It doesn't make accusations or lay blame. It's very different than going, well, you stole that presentation from me on purpose. I know you did, right? Do you see the difference? You have a much, much better chance of being heard and well received when you state it the first way versus the second. The second one sounds like a child, right? So we want to sound like an adult and stick to the facts, all right? Number 4, resolve issues in real time. Rather than letting something ruminate and allowing the conflict to continue on in your head for hours or days, take a timely approach. Now, note that it might not be a good idea to address it immediately. If you are flooded with emotions in the moment, that's probably not a good time to have that conversation. So you might need to take a step back and wait a couple hours or even a day. But once you've cooled off a little bit, have that conversation. Don't wait 2 weeks. That's too long. All right. It needs to be relevant because if not, it's going to lose its impact if you wait. And then people are going to go, why didn't you say anything? Right? So take a little bit of time to process how you feel and make a plan, but not too much, not to the point where the issue has died and people have moved on. All right. You're not going to be as credible and impactful if that happens. All right. This is a tough issue, you guys. One for me personally, for sure. And I'm not 100% there yet, but I've made a lot of progress and I invite you to do the same as well. And I also want to say too, not all of the coaching that my team and I do is around job searching. So I want to make that clear because issues like this that are more interpersonal or require self-reflection or about communication, we coach clients all the time just to be more effective in their current roles or be more satisfied at their jobs. It's not all about looking for a new job. So if you're not necessarily job searching or career changing, but need help with an issue like this or confidence building, or even just your kind of executive presence, whatever it may be, we coach clients on an array of issues. And this type of thing is one. So reach out to us. We'd love to help you. In fact, we've had a handful of coaching clients recently who haven't even been job searching. They've been more just kind of figuring out how to work on themselves and be better in their roles or deal with deal with bad bosses or typical conflicts that come up. So let us help you. We'd love to. All right. But I hope that at least this show was helpful, and please leave a rating and review. I love it and appreciate it. You guys are doing awesome. You're killing it out there. I love seeing your feedback and your emails and your reviews. So you can find this show, as you know, on careeruprising.com/podcast and all the major outlets. And I'm going to be very soon enjoying some sun and fun in Florida. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening. And more shows are definitely on the way. So check back on every Monday for a new show. All right. Take care, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show was brought to you by inflowradio.com. The best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.